What is going on, my guardian gamers? Is I, Birdman, back with another Destiny 2 video, and today I'm going to be showing off a really awesome Hunter Arc melee build using the Liar's Handshake. Now, there's always been a lot of debate between Liar's Handshake and Assassin's Cowl, and I think Liar's Handshake is just a little bit better, so I decided to make an entire setup based around it. Now, before I get into the video, know you can follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Birdman778. Make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video. Let me know something you're interested in seeing, whether it's Hunter, Titan, or Warlock. Subscribe to the channel and also become a member. Now, let's jump right on in. Now, we always like to highlight the exotic for this setup first, and again, that's the Liar's Handshake. Its armor perk reads Cross Counter. Using your arc melee ability or being hit by a melee attack will allow you to follow up with an extremely powerful melee counterpunch that will heal you. Now, this is really freaking awesome because one, it adds a whole lot of survivability to this build, giving you a whole lot of health to use, but also taking advantage of doing a lot of punching and melee stuff. I really do actually enjoy Arc Hunter a little bit more than some of the other classes. Just really fun to use. A lot of the abilities and stuff, especially the super, it's really cool. But again, this one is a lot of fun. You're able to get a lot of jolting because of this. And also, I mean, mainly from our subclass, but also, again, having that huge survivability because of the healing the Liar's Handshake provides makes it very viable for endgame content. We always got to look at the subclass for this, the Arc Strider Arc class, and the super that we're going to use for this is going to be the Gathering Storm. So obviously you can go into Arc Staff if you really want, but again, I'm a big fan of start and stop supers like this, where I'm able to just like chuck that staff and do a bunch of arc damage to an area, or if I stick it to a target, it's just going to continuously do damage. So it's really nice, and also with a shorter cooldown, it's easier to get this all the way charged up. For our abilities, I recommend for your dodge using the Gambler's Dodge so that we get that recharge of our melee ability. Some of the stuff that we're going to be doing throughout the subclass will actually really benefit from having our dodge come back and giving us that melee, so definitely make sure you have this on. Now, I mentioned something that would really help out with our dodge, and that's going to be the Combination Blow. It's going to be our charged melee. A quick strike that temporarily increases your melee damage when defeating a target, stacking 3 times, so we have a whole lot of damage boost from this for our melee on its own, but also defeating targets with this ability also fully refills your class ability energy and restores a small amount of health. So again, we're going to be getting health from this, we're going to be getting health from our Liar's Handshake, and also, again, killing an enemy with it is going to give us our dodge back. So we're able to use that dodge again and then have our charged melee ready. So definitely a really, really fun combo. For the grenade, I recommend a pulse grenade. Again, it's always my favorite. It's able to box out targets. It's able to linger for a minute, and it also has a pretty decent cooldown. For our aspects, I recommend lethal current first. After dodging, your next melee attack has increased lunge range. It jolts the target and creates a damaging aftershock. Damaging any jolted target with melee attacks also blinds them. So it's adding a bunch of these effects, adding that jolting effect, which one that's going to be really great for overload champions, which we really do enjoy, but also it's going to do all that chaining and everything like that. So we're going to be able to have a good amount of ad clear for a melee build. And then also it adds that blind in there if they're jolted, which is great against unstoppables. Again, we're getting really great coverage of our champions because of these simple little things, but also, again, it's going to blind our targets and make them not attack us for a second. Also, I recommend Flow State. Defeating a jolted target makes you amplify, which is going to be pretty consistent. So again, you're always going to have that amplification up, and then while you're amplified, your dodge recharges more quickly and you are more resilient while dodging, and your reload speed is greatly increased. So again, adding a whole lot of like little pluses to us, which I really enjoy this. Again, it's why I like Arc Hunter a whole lot, is because everything kind of like flows into each other really well. For our fragments, I recommend first off Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. Again, helping out the survivability of this build. Ideally, you should be constantly in the thick of it, punching people, getting health from your Liar's Handshake, from your Combination Blow, but this will also help you just kind of get a little bit more of that resistance. Spark of Shock would be next. Your arc grenades jolt targets, which again, we like that jolting effect. Spark of Ions, defeating jolted target creates the ionic trace. So now we're going to be getting that from our grenade as well as our punch. So you probably won't really notice those ionic traces filling you up because again, you're doing melee attacks. You're going to be really close in range, but they will be there and they will be charging you up. And then finally, Spark of Resistance. While critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. Again, just a great way to get all of our abilities back. There's a good chance you are going to be critical sometimes with this build, but again, that's what the entire thing is set up for, as constantly giving us our health back, and then having that easy recharge in those critical moments is really crucial. Now, I typically like to recommend an exotic for the setup, and I'm actually gonna go with a tractor cannon today. I'm a really big fan of this recently, especially for melee builds, because of the 30% debuff it's going to give us against targets. Its intrinsic trait, Pulsar Force. This weapon emits a powerful impulse that pushes enemies away, suppresses their abilities, and makes them more vulnerable to all incoming damage. So again, really great for a melee punching setup like this. And also its ability, the scientific method, damaging an opponent temporarily increases speed and handling. So really nice, just all around flow there. And then if you get the catalyst for it, you're just gonna get some ammo reserve, so not really necessary, but you know, in the long run, it is really nice. I'm just gonna recommend this real quick as an addition, something like a stasis weapon. So I've got like the Deliverance. You can do like maybe like a stasis grenade launch or something like that. Would be definitely beneficial to use while with this build, just because stasis targets take more melee damage. So especially against like right now unstoppable champions, just use one of these against them. They're gonna freeze, and then you can punch them and then almost completely knock them out right then and there. Now, when it comes to the armor that we're gonna be using for this setup, first off, on our helmet, I recommend using a harmonic siphon just to fill a slot. If you're going to be using an arc weapon, especially in your second slot, I've just got like an Ikilos SMG, really solid to use. It can be very beneficial for you to get those orbs of power, because we're going to be needing armor charges for this setup. Dynamo is really great just to get a bit of cooldown from using our dodge. We're going to be constantly using this at near target, so just a really good benefit there. And also hands-on, since we're going to be doing a lot of melee, getting that super back crazy fast. On our gloves, I recommend double melee kickstart, purely off the fact it's going to essentially make sure that you're going to get that cross counter back as fast as humanly possible. And then also impact induction is really nice, just to give our grenade a little bit more cooldown from all the melee damage we're going to be doing. On our chest piece, I recommend a harmonic resistance just to fill a slot, but you mainly need charged up, so you get a little bit more of those armor charges, as well as concussive dampener just to add a little bit of resistance. Now, you probably can do double on this charged up if you really feel like it. This is just something I added just for, you know, just a little bit addition. I like having 4 armor charges more than 5. Something about the odd number makes my head hurt, so I decided just to do this instead. Comes to our legs, I recommend using an elemental charge, so you get those free armor charges from all the ionic traces that we're going to be getting with this setup, and also stacks on stacks, so that whenever we get an armor charge or orb of power, it's going to be considered 2 instead of 1. And then finally, on our hunter cloak, I recommend a distribution just to get some cooldown, an outreach so that we can get a little bit more melee, and then also a powerful attraction to grab all those orbs whenever we activate our dodge. With the artifact this season, I recommend just going with the arc orb here. In the 4th slot, just do these 3 right here. Elemental Fury being an absolute, just because it's going to be doing more damage to those champions. Communal pickup, not really necessary, but you can go at, this is one I would say you can float with this or the overload machine gun, and then refreshing pickup, so that whenever we pick up those orbs on the ground, we're able to get a little bit more energy to our least powered ability. And then on our 5th slot, monochromatic is always a great choice, as well as rapid fire ranger. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoy it. Again, really been loving all the new builds and stuff we'll be doing. Make sure you're checking out the Arc Warlock build I just put out a couple of days ago. And yeah, just check out all the other stuff. We also have a really good Stasis Titan out right now. But I'm hoping to do a little bit more Hunter and like Titan stuff coming up here. Kind of run out of ideas when it comes to Warlock, so Hunter is definitely going to be a big focus for us. But thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you're following over on YouTube and Twitter at Birdman778. Give a like on this video. Let me know something you're interested in seeing down below. And then, yeah, also make sure you're subscribing to the channel and becoming a member. That's about it. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great night, day, or whatever it may be.